Good morning, everyone who's ready for a little more red, white, and blue. Today's project is really cool, so I think you're going to love it. So stay tuned because we're going to be doing some fun techniques. Lindsay is with us this morning. Say hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
If you are just dropping in, let us know where you are from. And I do want to apologize because I've got some stuff going on and everything lands on Tuesday. So we've had to switch the lives over to Wednesday. And I had a brain thing last night. So I posted that the live would be tomorrow, but I put yesterday's date on it. So, what can I say? This is just me. So thank you. If you do miss a live, remember you can always watch the rerun and on Facebook, but it also goes to YouTube. So make sure you check that out as well. Do we have anyone joining us after my little?
Yeah, there's some people here. We have Nicole joining us from Arizona.
Oh, sunny Arizona.
It's probably sunnier there than it is here.
Oh, we have had rain by the bucketfuls. Last week we had over 5 inches and it's just pouring down again today. Yeah. We did have a reprieve yesterday. So.
Yeah, we're hoping that we don't have any technical difficulties with this live because we're in the middle of a rainstorm. So hopefully it was thundering earlier and I turned around and told it not to do it. So
we'll see how much clout Lindsay has.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be the last day of rain until June 10th is what the Weather Channel says.
For some reason, all this technology doesn't agree with thunderstorms. So if the weather's in climate, Lindsay kind of sits on the edge of her seat waiting for whatever to happen.
Yeah, it never fails. If it storms, then everything goes haywire. But it is what it is.
I tell you what, she is incredibly versatile. So if there's something happens, just hold on, she'll get it fixed.
It's also why I have gray hair at 44. So I mean, so we have Kathy joining us and Barbara from New York and Perry from Idaho.
Welcome.
And Mike, who says he's loving the patriotic items.
Thank you, Mike.
Marlene from Memphis and Donna from Oklahoma, who says, send that rain our way.
Wish we could.
I mean, there was one town that's St. Paris is like 10 minutes? What's like 10 minutes from here to our west? Right.
West. She's over there.
I'm pointing.
Like you can see her. I'll point over there.
They got 5 inches in one day over there, and it was so bad it washed out their road, one of their roads, and the old brick road is showing through, which is kind of cool.
It was. I saw the pictures. It is the old brick road.
Yeah, we're having a lot of no flooding. Knock on wood. I mean, we're not really in a flood area where we are per se.
There are low-lying areas around us that are turning into lakes.
But Patrick has joined us from very sunny northern France.
Oh,
I love France.
Say hello in French.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
4 years of French coming back a little bit, and I can't say much anyway. Barbara from Texas, and Barbara from upstate New York.
Well,
so
glad you're with.
Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. You want to go ahead and get started?
Okay, so the thing was, I did this set of 2 patriotic tags. Absolutely love both of them, probably equally. Not sure I have a favorite. So when we were going to be doing the tag live, I had picked. Are we on these yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Flip?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you were talking. I was
That's okay. No. So I was going to do this one for sure. But then today it started storming. This one's going to take just a little bit more time because we have to tape off the stripes and whatnot. So we are going to be doing 1776. So we just kind of shifted around. Both of the tags have the same technique. They're just really, I just think they turned out just absolutely fantastic. I love them. And super easy. Oh my gosh, these are so much fun to create. I hope you think so too. So are we ready to get started? Mm-hmm. Okay. We are going to, I'll set these over to the side. I told Lindsay I was running out of room.
You should see her table. Yeah. I mean, it's packed.
It is. For this one little project, it is absolutely packed. So I'll set this over there. We'll come back to that. All right. So for the sake of time, I did go ahead and get this base kit. Now, I'm going to be doing a lot of tips and techniques today. So make sure you stay tuned to the end because it comes together at the end really well. So if you notice, I did base coat this, and I used Nautical Home Decor chalk paint. I like that because you don't have to prep the surface. You just paint it on. Usually one coat is quite sufficient. I did put one coat on, and look at my edges. If you're a decorative painter, you're going to cringe, because when we paint something, we always make sure we go clear to the edges. This is a rustic distressed piece. So I just used my 1.5-inch sharp wash or a chip brush, and I put a piece of tape, painter's tape, down here to mask it off, and I just went like this. And some of the edges didn't get cleaned up. However, we're going to make this rustic. So if you can deal with the stress of not painting edge to edge perfectly base coated, this is such a quick and easy way to get the project started. And I did put another piece of tape down, and I painted the bottom portion of it with sheepskin. And I want to share, this is a ruler that I have. It is exactly the same width as this. I think it's 1.5 inches. So I use this often. These are my very two favorite straight edges to use. This one will give me a perfectly straight line. And I brought this in because when I do the stripes, all I do is center this in the middle, and then I can put my tape on. I know my stripes are perfectly perpendicular and straight. I have a hard time with that. So if you have difficulty with straight lines, use the tools that are provided. Not necessarily for decorative painting. You'll find these in office supplies. Oh my gosh, they're going to make your life so much easier. So now that we have that on here, I'm just going to take, what did we call this? Some people call it a finger sander. It's called you can get them at Home Depot.
Amazon.
Yeah, and I'm just going to sand this.
Gator sander.
Gator sander, yes. And see that rough edge? Oh, look how beautiful that turns it. And I'm just going to go up and down. Can you see all that's coming off? Chalk paint is very chalky, so you will see that coming off. And I am going to just do the blue. That's why I should have left that down there. I had a paper towel, and look at that. That's the chalk, and it is just like chalk. So real easy to clean up. We're just going to wipe it off, but it can get on your stuff. So make sure that you clean that up. I don't particularly want it on the white paint. So I should have started out with that first, but that's okay. This will clean it up. And I think it's going to tell me it's starting to rain again. I'm leaning a little bit heavier on the edges, and probably can see that a little bit easier up here. I can clean that or sand that down, get a little more distress, and go in this way and go in this way. It's just a beautiful way. Is Jen listening? She would love this Gator sander because you don't have to touch it with your fingers. Okay, so that's it on that. Beautifully sanded, soft as silk, absolutely wonderful. Gonna set that to the side. And thank you. Lindsay got me another paper towel to clean this up. I have baby wipes to bring in. I should bring those because that's a perfect way to clean this instead of flipping water across. And just gonna take that and go over that. Okay, so now we've got our surface cleaned up. I wanted to do the stars, and I'm just going to, again, keep it very simple. I use an acrylic block. You can use a piece of cardboard, and I use tape to anchor those down. So when I paint, this is Tuscan Red. If you are using acrylic paint, Deco Art, navy blue for the blue, and probably rookwood red for the red. Kind of start in the center and pull it out to the edges. That way I don't get it over the edge. Did you see how quick I painted that? Oh my gosh, boom, boom, boom. It is finished. That easy. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry just a minute. And we are going to go to the stenciling. I like I'm going to pull this over here. I like it to go this way so that when it hangs, I don't know how to show that. It hangs with 1776 down. And if you put the stencil the opposite way and you go to hang it, the 6 will be at the top. So keep that in mind when you decide where to place the stencil. And I'm just going to center that right on I'm just going to line, it works out pretty good just to line it up on this bottom edge. And I always take a little bit of tape, anchor this puppy down, because you don't want it shifting around while you're applying the stenciling. And also in these areas where the stencil is close to the edge, I am a messy stenciler. So I'm going to cover up, see where that star is. I anchor it down there, and that way I'm not going to hopefully get my stenciling into those areas. I'm using sheepskin, and that's what I base coated that bottom portion with. And I wish I could show this to you. I shook it a little bit, and it's kind of dripping from the top of the lid. I don't want to get that. Chalk paint is very thick. You can see how thick it is. Absolutely wonderful because you get a more opaque coverage. When using chalk paint, I'm still going to make sure I load my stencil brush and then I wipe it off. I don't want it super heavy, but I'm going to start just a light tap. And we'll just continue tapping. Get that all on there. A lot of times it's very easy when stenciling to get a little impatient and go a little faster or put heavier paint on the stencil brush. This is going to cause the paint to kind of run underneath the stencil. And by tapping it, I can go a little bit heavier. Start in the middle, work toward the edges, and that's going to give a nicer coverage. I could also swirl. It's going to give you a softer look, but I think I want to go heavier on this because I want it to be really a nice, strong 1776. I do everything from left to right except my stenciling, and I go from the right to the left. And I decided the reason I do that, I had to think about why I do that, but I can see as I go. And with stenciling, you never lay your hand down. So I just kind of pounce that on there nice and just want to give a nice even coverage. And do that. It really does go on rather quickly. Make sure if you're enjoying this, if you're watching on YouTube, to give me a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe, that way you won't miss out on future videos. Normally we do the lives every Tuesday. However, this week and next week, there were some scheduling conflicts, so.
I didn't know we weren't doing it on Tuesday. News to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, June. Is June? I don't know.
What?
I thought next week was Wednesday as well.
You didn't say anything to me.
Okay.
Next week is June 5th.
Oh no, we'll be on Tuesday next week. And you wonder why I had the date wrong last night. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so next week we should be back Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Lindsay's my brain. Thanks. Thank goodness.
I was gonna say, she didn't tell me anything.
Okay. We got this on here. A little bit uneven, but that's okay because I am going to go back in and sand that. Give it a quick dry. We do have the air on today, but it takes.
Yeah, Chris said it was too cold in here.
Oh, it was 67.
I was like, that's wonderful. Like,
we will let this dry. And not only am I going to dry it, I'm going to set it aside and let it kind of harden up for just a tiny bit. And while that's drying, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to sand these stars. I'm just going to leave them right on that.
and this is the last Patriotic Live. This correct?
Yes.
Yes, this is the last Patriotic Live of our Patriotic series. Now, it is not the last new design per se.
No.
There will be one last Patriotic release this Friday.
Yes, and it's a good one.
Yeah.
I've been working on this for a while. I think
She did get her ornament bundle done. So it will be releasing this Friday. There will be 5 new ornament patterns. And they'll go live on the website. I think it's 8 a.m. So those will be available. You can buy them individually or you can buy them as a bundle.
I'm going to have
So
to
be sure to check that out.
I'm going to have to rethink my palette and my projects because I've been doing Patriotic hot and heavy for a whole month. And I have really enjoyed it. And I tried to, on these projects, I tried to not only shake up the colors, but also shake up like the blues. I use different shades of blue, different shades of red. It just gives a little more versatility and allows a little more freedom. And I hope it encourages you to, well, I don't have this color blue. I can use another color blue and it'll be just fine. Okay, let's get this sanded a little bit. And I'm just going to go just lightly and still going to tone that down, bring a little age into it. And it looks like I'm taking a lot off, but a big part of that is the dust that is coming off of the chalk paint. If you've not used the chalk paint, I encourage you to use that. It's amazing. I love the way it covers. It's so easy to work with, and it's very versatile. You don't have to seal it. You don't have to varnish it. It's just a one beautiful coverage usually does it all. Look at this. These little stars are going to show up really nice. This looks good, but I want to bring that earthiness into it, that little bit of rustic look. So I am going to use a little bit of walnut stain. And I was going to try this. This is a new product that we have from Deco Art called Make It Stain. And instead of using the walnut stain, I'm going to make my own stain. So this is a gel-like product. You can see it's nice and thick. I'm going to mix it with, I debated, I'm going to mix it with chalk paint. And I know that you're not supposed to cross over brands of paint. In my mind, this should work just really, really well. So we will see. We'll play with this together. And I'm just going to grab my palette knife, mix it up. Ooh, that looks really dark. The consistency is beautiful. I think I'm going to put just a little more stain in there. And you can see I put just a little bit out. It's way too much. So when you're doing this, kind of hone back on the amount of product that you use. Okay, let's see what we got here. Should I go big time, Lindsay? We'll
Have you
see.
tried it with this before?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I've never tried it. We're going to experiment together. I use a damp brush. Ooh, I like the color that is becoming. Okay, my mind, here's my thought. And you can see where I sanded it, it just grabs that a little bit stronger. In my mind, I can always go back and add more. So I'm starting out very timidly because I can always go back and reinforce that strength of that stain. Oh, I like this, Lindsay. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to wipe it down just a bit. I had some down on the table and brought it up. Ooh, that is nice. Now, what's nice about this Make It Stain, you can use any color. If I wanted to give that a hint of blue or bring a little more gray tone in that, I could also do that. I was afraid it was going to be too strong, but I like that look. I think it's beautiful. So I am going to do my little stars. And you can see why using this platform to anchor those stars down is such a great way to work with them. Not saying my fingers won't get messy, but this makes it a lot less complicated. When you get finished to clean up, it's so much easier. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. On the Deco Art Make It Stain, 5 stars, 2 thumbs up. This is great stuff. You know, sometimes when you're working with a project, the maple stain is a little bit too red and bright. The walnut stain might be a little bit too dark. This way you can go whatever shade you want. If you want to lean it a little more toward the brighter. Ooh, wouldn't this be pretty with a whitewash on it too? You could, I mean, there's so many different avenues that you can take this. Okay. I always love to, right there on the corner, I'm just going to go back and add a little darker.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you going to put the star in a 6?
Oh, I probably should, shouldn't I?
I was debating sitting there asking you that, and I'm like,
Okay.
is she going to do that?
No, I forgot all about it. I got so wrapped up in the stain. We want to add the center of the number 6, which is this big old star. I love it. Thank you, Lindsay. I would have gotten finished and thought, oh my God.
Well, I figured you didn't sit on stencil because you taped over it. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
See, she's my brain. This is, we make a good team. She keeps me on track. And this is the blue. And we'll just pop that in there. Try the lid, but always kind of brush that off. Don't want it too dark. Oh, this is going to make a world of difference. I kept thinking it looked like it was missing something.
It was.
All right, there we go. Now she's happy. Sometimes I work from the paint, I leave the bottle open. And if I leave it open for a long time, it starts to dry up. I'll take my mister and just squirt a little water in there. And that helps to rehydrate some of that has dried out or evaporated a little bit. Okay. After we get this on here, I'm going to sand it lightly. Let that dry. If you don't have a heated tool, these are so great. They're not noisy. They are super quick to dry.
Mike said the mystery is solved. Why you thought it was missing something?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to let it cool down just a little bit. Now, if I go and sand over it at this point, it's just going to peel it up. So I'm going to let that cool down just a tad. So next week, we're going to start a whole new Patriotic. We've kind of been through a lot of different things on Patriotic. So we're going to go a different direction next week. Let me know if there's something you're interested in. Door hangers, plaques, ornaments. There's a whole different, I have some ideas, but if you have some as well, love to listen or hear what you have to say. Okay. Just gonna, and I still have my gel stain right there. Just going to go over that a little bit. There's nothing we can't fix. Okay, there we go. Now it looks like it's supposed to. Okay. See how much gel stain I have left over? I really needed like just a dot.
It's like a 1-to-1 ratio when you mix it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And this enables you to turn any color into gel stain. Any color. So you're not just limited to oak, walnut, and maple now.
And it works with chalk paint too.
Yeah.
That was an experiment. And I used it so thinly that I don't see how it would go wrong. It's not a heavy paint coverage. It's not going to peel. Okay, I am going to use my palette knife, and I want to add a little more strength to this rustic effect. I like these less expensive palette knives, and the plastic ones are super flexible. The paint is not like oil paint where you need the metal palette knife. So just going to take and flatten some paint out on my palette. And you can see there's no thickness of paint on my palette knife. I'm just have a super thin coverage. And I'm just going to kind of slide it. Ooh, look at that beautiful distress effect that creates. There's more on it than you think. So I can go quite a bit of scrubbing before I have to reload. It's not going to show up too much on this blue area, but I'm still going to apply it randomly, and I'm keeping it more vertical. And that makes it look like wood grain. The paint is kind of chipped. And I am leaning in on these corners. I really want them to show that distress. Minimal amount, reload often. And you don't want to do dabs. You want it to kind of drag out and create that awesome look of chipped paint. And I have a very light touch. I'm going to go down here a little heavier. Oh, this corner has seen a tremendous amount of wear. These edges that were so unfinished are just absolutely beautiful. It all works together so nicely. Look at that beautiful texture. If there's an area that seems too bright or light, just add a little more texture on there with the palette knife. Look how that just slides on. This you cannot achieve with a brush. Oh, that looks so nice. Now, what happens if you overload your palette knife? You're going to get a solid blob. Don't worry about it. You can wipe it off immediately, or you can let it dry and then go back and sand it down a little bit more. It's very workable. There's no mistakes. There's nothing you can do that you can't undo or fix. And before you do anything, take a look at it. You might really like the way that it is headed. I know some of my best designs were the result of a mistake. So I'm going to do these stars, and I want to be particular. My distressing kind of goes up and down. I'm going to do a little bit on the stars, but I want to kind of go up and down as well on the stars. Not a lot, just enough to make it look like it's been on that plaque the same amount of time. This is looking really good. I'm going to go ahead and I got my glue gun out today. Lindsay started cringing. Going to put the stars on. Just going to use a little bit of hot glue.
Now, we've said this before. Chris uses hot glue on TV for the sake of time.
Yeah.
At home, she uses like Aleene's tacky glue or something like that. But
a quick grab glue of some type.
The glue gun glues sets fast, so that way.
Yeah, and with the glue gun, if you hang this like on a door and you have a lot of sun that comes in, they're going to start dropping off. So this is just a really good way to get them on quickly for TV. I'm going to sand these down just a little bit more. I'm going to be just a little more rustic. So it's never finished until you call it finished. Just wipe that off. And then if you use the Aleene's tacky glue, you don't have to deal with these little strings. And I thought the transition between the sections was just a little bit, needed something more. So this is the problem I have with string. I never can find the beginning. Here we go. I have 2-ply jute twine. If you're using 3-ply, that would be fine too. Because it's 2-ply, I'm going to wrap it 3 times. If you're using a heavier twine or jute, I would just wrap it less. Didn't burn myself, Lindsay. Just going to put it right over that dividing area. I think adding this little bit, and it's always that little bit that's added, makes such a big difference. I should have cut that off because it's a little bit awkward. Make sure those stay together nice and tight.
Patrick says he loves this worn out rustic effect that would work well with vintage signs, farm produce, roosters, etc.
Absolutely, Patrick. You are so correct. And it's easy to do, and it's easy to overdo. So
we were actually talking about this earlier. She just burned herself, people.
I did.
She just burned herself.
Drat.
She thought I wasn't going to catch her either. We were talking about this before we started the live about how fast you could produce these for craft shows. Like in a relatively quick amount of time. Once you do the initial one, I mean, you base coat them all, you stencil them all, you know, stain them all, you know.
Kind of like an assembly line.
Yeah, you could get them done relatively fast.
So there's a couple other things that can be done to just enhance that aged effect. And because this is so solid, I thought it would be good to speckle it a little bit. I'm using the sheepskin and my splattering brush. One thing about the chalk paint, because it is such a thick bodied paint, you have to really thin it down to get a nice splatter. The thinner the paint, the bigger the splatter. If you want just a fine like powder dusting, this chalk paint is perfect, but I want a little bit of a splatter here. And I'm just going to add that here and there.
That one will come off.
Yeah. But look how that brightens it up. I'm going to put a little bit on the stars. I probably should have done this. I'm going to stand up. This is like, I always say it's like a shotgun. It goes where you aim it. Now, I'm not real crazy about this over here. Just going to lift it up. Remember I said you can fix anything. Just wipe it off. And add another little splatter there. That brightens it up. And then I can go in, get my brush. I'm just rinsing it in my water container to get the paint off. And I'm going to splatter with a little bit of that Java, which is the dark brown. I wonder if I can use that stain. Okay. Ooh, I like that. And this is going to tone down those. I'm aiming it mostly at the white areas, the light areas. I'm not going to show up too much on the blue, but look how it tones that down. It just becomes very rustic, and those little splatters bring that all together and create some continuity. If they're too bright, you can go in and kind of touch them with not rub them, but just like touch it to tone down some of those heavier ones. Sometimes I'll spray it with water, and then when you splatter it, the paint kind of diffuses. But I love how this is turning out. How much time have we spent, Lindsay? This is going
37 minutes.
Okay, rather quickly to get this pulled together. And I think it looks fantastic. But when I did my original one, I thought it would be fun to add a little bit of fluff. I'm going to set this over here. And I created a bow, and this is, I had a striped homespun, a checkered homespun, and a red and blue and white homespun, a little bit of lace. I put some sisal grass in there. I had some white pip berries, that's hard to say. And I also added, I love these little curly cues. These are the brown floral wire. And I just tied that on, wired that on to through the hole. And you can see the sisal grass. It just gives it a little more texture. I thought I had 3 of those. This one not showing up well. With the wire, it's so easy to put those wherever you want them. And I did put a jute bow in here, and that just pulls the jute from down here, up here, stuck a rusty tin jingle bell in the middle. I think this turned out fantastic. The other tag, same concept, same distressing, same colors. I just used a dark or black on the wording because obviously white's not going to show up. And this is a beautiful stencil. Let me go off that. I really had planned on using that stencil.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah, this is the stencil for God Bless America. And I will tell you, when using the chalk paint, you need to clean your stencils. This chalk paint it adheres so well that if you let it dry, it's harder to remove like off of the stencils. So I should have been a little more careful on cleaning that more quickly. But I used this little star to add 3 across there. Worked out perfectly. I don't think I just put it on there and then added these little stars. So you can be a little more versatile. You can add your own little touches. I think the bow's kind of fun to just bring in a little more whimsy and to add a little more texture. Texture is the big thing right now, I believe, to soften this harsh, distressed effect. Any questions, Lindsay?
Someone had asked what the name of the stain was. I put the link in the chat. She used the Make It Stain additive. It's from the Editions line, the new Editions line from Americana. There are 3 products available in that line. There is Make It Thick, which is an additive to basically create like a texture paste, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And then there is Marker Maker, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Marker Maker, which you can take acrylic paint and make a paint marker. So those are brand new products available on our website now in the Editions line. And that can be found in the links in the chat, or you can go to the new products section on our website. Those are there too.
And I will say the Make It marker does come with empty markers that you can fill.
Yeah,
So,
there's one marker in the starter kit, and then we also have an additional 3-pack of markers. I think it's the 3. Yes, 3 fillable markers.
so I was in a quandary as to what I do with it, but yeah, they thought of that too. So thank you, DecoArt, for thinking of all the answers. And maybe we should do the Make It Thick next week. 'Tis a thought. So let me know if you have any ideas on what you would like to do for next week or any suggestions. I hope you enjoyed this. There's a lot of technique in this, and it's techniques that you can pull into so many different projects just to ramp it up and kind of keep in mind, again, if you are a decorative painter, perfectly painting is not needed for this type of project. So you have to kind of take that brain set it on the back burner of the stove for a while, and just basically we're playing with the paint and letting it evolve a little less controlled, and the results are amazing. And every time I work with projects like this, I'm simply wowed. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this turned out so beautiful. Absolutely love it. So let me know what you think. Anything else, Lindsay?
I think that's it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, I apologize for any of the confusion over the dates. We will be back next Tuesday, right, Lindsay?
Tuesday at 10 a.m. Real quick, there was a question. Rusted bells. We no longer carry them, but you should be able to get them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby on Amazon as well. I think I've seen them.
Yeah.
But
Okay, here's another thought on that respect. I did a thing, was it last week, where I created the rusty stars?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you can't find rusty jingle bells, all you have to do is paint it a rust color like cinnamon, any color of paint, let it dry, and then top coat it with varnish and sprinkle it with cinnamon. It looks fantastic. It looks like real rust, and it smells wonderful. So keep that in mind. You can make anything look rusty.
Susan asked, are we doing Christmas in July?
Yes, we are doing
Christmas. It will be July will be Christmas projects.
Yay, I love Christmas projects. So
yeah, that was already planned.
Yes.
But next month is the month of question.
Yeah,
So.
I have some ideas. So we're not going to sit here empty with a blank slate. Yeah. I always have ideas.
And if you want to see a technique or anything, you can always shoot me an email, info@cdwood.com. I'll make sure Chris gets it. Or you can email her, either way. But we're always looking for ideas. So.
Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next week. And remember, a little bit of paint makes a big difference. Bye-bye.